Okay, I've tested the audio and video, so I think this should be working. Looks like it is. Awesome. So today I'm going to be doing a different type of video. This is inspired by a video that Simon Roper did on his YouTube channel. He makes a lot of really good language videos. He knows a lot about it. He's not a linguist, I don't think, but he makes really high quality videos about language. And one video he did was trying to figure out, I think it was Polish, just through Google Translate. And of course, you can't learn too much about a language, but you can figure out a lot of the fundamentals. So today I chose to kind of try the same thing, except with Romanian. So I don't know any Romanian. I do know a few other Romance languages, so it's going to help me definitely recognize cognates, but I'm not really interested in vocabulary today. I'm mostly interested in trying to figure out the grammatical system. I do know that there are cases in Romanian, so that'll be interesting to figure out. I'm interested also to figure out how plurals are formed. I also read that definite articles are enclitic, meaning they come at the end of the noun. So I'm interested to see how that works, especially with plural nouns. But yeah, besides that, I really don't know much. So we're going to try to figure out that, some conjugation, some grammar. So let's get started here. Also pronunciation. I don't really know how to pronounce Romanian, so I'm interested to figure this out. So the first, let's just cow. So I think this is a nasal sound, so I would say vaca or vaca, but let's see.
Vaca,
Vaca.
vaca,
I can't tell if it's nasal.
vaca,
Vaca. Vaca. Okay, so it looks like the emphasis might be in the first syllable of the word. But this is our first word. Let's start with it. Let's figure out how cow is inflected and declined and all that. So vaca. So, okay. The cow.
vaca,
Whoa. Okay, that's really surprising to me. So maybe this is an irregular, but when I put the cow, it totally got rid of that.
vaca,
It sounds like the emphasis is on the second syllable. That might just be a weird Google Translate thing, but vaca,
vaca,
vaca, and that's a different vowel sound too. That's a vaca, not a vaca. Let me hear that first one again. I'm curious to see how that sounded.
vaca,
Vaca. Okay, interesting. Let's try a cow. See if they have indefinite. Yeah, it looks like they do.
o vaca,
O vaca. Okay, so it looks like it keeps that little
o vaca,
o vaca, that nasal at the end. So o right now is potentially an indefinite article, but let's try a different noun because I want to see how this works. So let's just try tree.
copac,
Kopak.
copac,
Kopak. Okay, kopak. So it ends with a consonant, so that's a thing that can happen. How about the tree?
copacul,
Kopakul. Okay, this is very different. Kopakul is the tree. Now let's see a tree. I wonder if it's o kopak. I don't know.
un copac,
Un kopak.
un copac,
Okay, so this is obviously where it looks more like Romance languages that I'm familiar with. Un kopak. Okay, so there's no similarities here. So I'm wondering probably, and there's 3 genders also I read. So there's masculine, feminine, neuter. So my assumption is this. I'm dealing with different genders here. This is that's my assumption for why the indefinite article is different and the definite article as well. Because as you can see here, there is an enclitic, whereas here it just changes, it just changes the vowel sound to add that definite article. So let's try another noun to try to see if we can figure out all the genders, how all the different genders work in Romanian. So I have no idea, obviously, which words are which gender, but I'll just go with pen.
pix,
Beaks.
pix,
Beaks. Okay, beaks, and it looks like silo, which is reminiscent of French. But let's go with peaks. Okay, so we've got pen, and let's see the pen.
stilo,
Okay, so obviously it went with the other word for pen, which was stylo. So let's just do that one instead. So the pen, again, okay, so this looks probably like it's the same gender as tree, kopak. So it because the definite article was just an N. Or, I'm sorry, just an L. Although here it was UL, but since stylo already ends in a U, I imagine it just adds the L instead of an extra U. Let's try a pen. Un stylo, yes, that's what I assumed because okay, so great. We have determined that kopak and stylo are from the same gender. I don't know which gender. My assumption is masculine because in French, un stylo, stylo is masculine. So that my best guess is that these two are masculine. I'm gonna unfortunately abide by gender norms here and make that blue for masculine. I don't know what gender this is, so we're gonna keep going. I only want to do a couple more of these because I do want to get into the verb conjugations. I would like to do that soon. And also cases, but I do want to figure out genders first. So let's see what desk is. Well, actually, I'm going to look because I want to, okay. That's kind of weird. I don't know why that's not working. Okay. Car. Let's see what car is. Machina is my guess, or machina.
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 Machina. So this is probably the same gender as cow. The car. Yes, makes sense. You just get rid of that. Okay, so that's how the cow is, that's how definite articles are formed with whatever gender this is. My guess is feminine, but I can't really be sure. So let's add this to our list here. We got two feminine words. Machina. Machina is the car, right? And then machina, or how do you pronounce that second one? The car.
Machina.
Machina. Okay, so machina. It sounds like the emphasis almost switches to the penultimate, the first syllable to make the car. And this is obviously wrong. This is just car. Okay, so now I'm going to work in plurals because I haven't done that yet. I forgot to do that. So the cars.
Machinile.
Machinile. So it looks like we just cut off whatever vowel is here and added ile, at least for this gender. And I'm assuming it goes by genders. I don't think there's any other type of noun grouping like you might find in, a Native American language, for example. But this is the cars. How about just cars without any article? Machini.
Machine.
And obviously this here is a sh sound. So machini is cars. So then with this information, because this is the same gender, I think, I can guess how vaca is, or vaca is in plural. So I would guess that the plural of cows is, this might not work, but machini or vacini, right? Or no. Oh, no. Vaki. Vaki is my guess. Oh.
Vach.
Oh, but okay, so I'm kind of right, but the pronunciation is totally different.
Vach.
Okay, so this might be the kind of same thing that happens in Italian when there's an I after a C, it goes to the
Vach.
ch sound. Okay, but I was right when it comes to writing it. So cows, cool. How about the cows? I know these are like the weirdest words to be using. The cows, it should be vacile. Yeah, vacile, probably.
Vacile.
Vacile. Okay, so I'm still a little bit confused on emphasis. I can't pin down where the emphasis is in a word yet. Maybe I'll work on that later. But okay, so we got the endings here. So it looks like ile is the... All right, I want to put these notes somewhere else. I'll put these here. Ile is the definite... We're just going to call this feminine. I can't be sure, but une vache in French I know is feminine, so I'm going to assume that it's the same gender in this. Again, we're going to unfortunately go with gender roles here and just going to go with the red color here. Ile is definite plural feminine ending. Right? ile. Is that right? Yes, ile, because it's the same here. So this is plural feminine definite ending. So then just I is the plural ending. Easy in feminine at least. So that makes sense. But let's figure out what the masculine ending is in plural. So trees. Let's just see what trees. Trees is going to be copaci.
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 Okay, we lose that I. We lose that I sound at the end. This is just trees. I don't know why I wrote cow here. Got cows on my mind. Copaci. So this is just trees. So then this is probably going to be an irregular plural here for stilo, because I couldn't imagine it be stiloi. I wouldn't really think that is it. That doesn't sound right, but let's see. That's so annoying that it uses the other pen. That's so annoying. Okay, well, I'm going to skip that because it doesn't want to give us. But we do know that I is also the plural ending. The plural ending, non-definite. The indefinite plural ending is literally just I, E in masculine and feminine. I don't think we found a neuter noun yet. When we will, I guess we'll cross that path. But I'm done with nouns for now. Actually, I want to see the trees. I want to see if it's also the same as the feminine ending. That would be interesting. So if it is the same as the feminine ending for the definite plural, it's going to be ile. So it would be the word for tree is copac, so copacile is what I would expect if it has the same ending as feminine, but I just don't know if it does. Let's see. Copaci. Okay, it does not.
Copaci.
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 Okay, interesting. So what happens here is we lost the I sound. It's muted. We don't hear it. It's just copac. It's trees, indefinite. But here we keep that E sound.
Copaci.
Copaci. And that's how we know that it's a definite plural. So I think just that is going to be the definite masculine plural. So let's find another noun, and let's see if we can apply some of these rules to make it make sense. So, cup. Keyasha.
Чашка. Чашка.
Chashka.
Чашка.
Chashka. I still think this is a nasalized vowel. Kind of embarrassing that I can't figure that out, but.
Чашка.
Chashka. Okay, so ends in a so I'm going to assume this is a feminine noun, or whatever gender this is, we're assuming it's feminine. So chash, the cup would be chashka, right? Chashka without the nasalized at the end and the emphasis on the last plural, last synonym, syllable. Okay, this is where it's kind of annoying working with Google Translate, because you just get a bunch of synonyms, and it's kind of my fault for choosing a word that has a million synonyms. So let's choose one that doesn't have any synonyms. Airplane should just be one word.
Avion.
Avion. Avion.
Avion.
Avion. Okay. Avion, don't know if this gender here, the masculine, or if it's maybe a neuter, but let's see. So if it's the airplane and it is masculine, then we could expect avionul, right? Avionul. Okay, so this looks like it's probably a masculine. And if it's the airplanes, we could expect avioni, I think. Oh no. Oh no. Oh boy. So we have a word a letter A being put in there, and then we got ele, a different ending that I haven't even found yet. So maybe this is a neuter word. This could be a neuter noun. Let's see if airplanes is avionan.
Avione.
Avioane.
Avione.
Okay, honestly, I'm a little deterred by this. I think this might be a neuter noun. It kind of makes sense that a new word like avion might be a neuter noun. I'm a little deterred, so we're going to stop from genders right now, because I'm just terrified. I'm scared because I feel like I'm going to mess this up big time. So I want to try to work with cases at this point. So we have some nouns here, and I want to go ahead and see. So the cow eats bread. So the cow. So right, the cow. So this is nominative. So it looks like when a feminine noun, nominative, nothing changes. There's no change. So
Vaca mănâncă pâine. Vaca mănâncă pâine.
Okay, so this is not the nasal sound. This is the nasal sound. Mănâncă
Vaca mănâncă pâine.
Mănâncă pâine.
Vaca mănâncă pâine.
Pâine. Okay, so I'm really at a loss for what this circumflex, or no, this is circumflex, what this diacritic does here. I really don't know. I don't know. But I can assume that, let's see what bread is. Or, sorry, the bread, right? Or I forget what sentence I did. Pâine.
Pâine.
Pâine is just bread. The bread is
Pâine.
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 Okay, so just add an A to the end to make it definite, which is kind of what happened here. So I think bread might be feminine. But let's go back to the cow eats the bread. Vaca mănâncă pâine.
Vaca mănâncă pâine.
Pâine. Pâine. Okay, so now I did cow eats the bread. So when bread is accusative, it's the same. Okay, so it didn't even change at all. So that's interesting. Let's try another one. The car hits the tree. Looks like we got a reflexive verb here, I think, with the se lovește. Mașina se lovește de copac.
Mașina se lovește de copac.
De copac. Okay. Okay, so we even have the preposition here. But copac, it's interesting. The car hits a tree. Let's try that. Un copac. There's no declension here. I'm not seeing any evidence of a case system right now. I could just be like not seeing it. So let's try the car's tree. Let's try to figure out how the genitive works. So it's using a different word for tree than the one we used. So let's try the car's cow. Doesn't make sense, but I think Google Translate would probably figure it out. Vaca mașini.
Vaca mașini.
Vaca mașini. So this extra I for feminine nouns can be a genitive ending, it seems. So let's try the cow's car.
Mașina vacii.
Mașina vacii. And this should just be pronounced vac, right? Oh, what am I doing?
Vaci.
Vac, yes. Okay, great. So when we get the pronunciation, let me just put this down here. Is the cow's yeah, meaning it belongs to the cow. It's genitive here. We just add an I, so that's the feminine genitive is two I's, and when we have two I's after a C at least, we get the E sound. But when we only have one I, we lose the E sound. The E, we just get the ch. Okay, so feminine genitive there. But I mean, this could change based on what this noun is doing. So mașina. Okay, I see. So because the is here, mașina keeps the definitive, the definite ending, which is just mașina. how about if we do multiple cows, car, the cow's car.
Mașina vacilor.
Mașina vacilor. Interesting. So we get this new ending, lor, after vaci. Vacilor. So the car's cow. Okay, great.
Vaca mașinilor. Vaca mașinilor.
Okay, cool. So elor, or maybe just, yeah, probably elor, is the ending for the plural feminine genitive. And when I say plural, I mean cars. The genitive is acting upon this noun, it seems, right? Yeah, it's acting upon the noun that owns the thing, not vaca. It just seems to take the definite ending when something is being owned, right? Let's just get some more nouns in here just so we can make more sense of this stuff. Person.
Persoană.
Persoana.
Persoană.
Persoana. Okay, we got the wa. It's like a diphthong there with O and A. Persoana.
Persoană.
Persoana. Okay, great. This is maybe a feminine noun because it ends in that A with the diacritic. So, actually, I don't want to do person. Actually, yeah, we could do person. No, it's gonna. That's why I didn't want to do it, because it gives me a irregular. Because in English is weird. Keyboard. Tastatura.
Tastatură.
Tastatura. Okay, keyboards. Tastaturi. So again, this looks like a feminine noun because it goes from the A to the E. We've got this down pretty clear now. So we have another feminine noun in the mix here. I want to find a neuter noun. I don't know how you would find a neuter noun because all the Romance languages I know don't have neuter nouns, so I can't like choose one from those languages. Well, that's in German. It's probably not going to work. Ocean.
Ocean. Ocean.
Ocean. Oceanelor?
Oceanelor.
No way. Okay. Let's see. The ocean. Oceanul.
Oceanul.
This looks like that's the masculine definite article. How about an ocean? Un ocean.
Un ocean.
Okay, so ocean is a masculine noun. I want to find a neuter noun. Turtle. Okay, what the? I don't know what's going on there. Building.
Clădire.
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 Clădire. Okay, that's a different form. Let's see. Clădiri.
Clădiri.
Clădiri. Okay. Interesting. How about the building? Okay.
Clădirea.
I think we found our third gender. I think. Emphasis on I think. Okay. Let's put this down. Building is
Clădire.
clădire. It almost seems like whenever this diacritic is here, the emphasis is on a different syllable. I could totally be making that up, but that's kind of what it seems like to me. Clădire is building. Building. Let's do the building. Clădirea.
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 Clădirea. Buildings. Okay, and the buildings.
Clădirile.
Clădirile. Clădirile. So we lose that diacritic, which seems to happen whenever we go definitive, right? Whenever we have a definite article, we lose that diacritic. At least, even in the feminine nouns, it seems like that's the case. How about? Actually, that's. Yeah, I think so. I'm probably spewing, messing this up so bad. If this happens to reach any Romanian speakers, I would love to get your, hate comments, or just, cringe comments maybe. But
Clădirea.
Clădirea. Did I already do that? I think I'm just stupid and I Yeah, I did. I wrote this wrong. This is just the building. Is clădirea. Buildings.
Clădiri.
Clădiri. Clădiri. So it's definitely similar. Buildings is it's the I ending. Clădir is like the stem for building, I guess. So the I ending seems to be universal. I seems to be the universal nominative plural ending in Romanian, which is interesting. So let's see. The building breaks the tree. Doesn't make any sense, but we're just trying to figure out cases here. Clădirea, that's nominative, that's definitive, right? Nominative stays the same. That's what we would expect.
Clădirea sparge copacul.
Clădirea sparge copacul.
Clădirea sparge copacul.
Sparge copacul. Okay, so it's like an alveolar tap there with the R's, which is what we'd expect in, I think, a lot of Eastern European languages that aren't Romance, but also, obviously Spanish and Italian, not French. Clădire sparge copacul. So interesting that the accusative is the same in the masculine gender as the nominative. So it doesn't even inflect. There's no case, no obvious case here. How about the building breaks the cow? Obvious sentence, right?
Clădirea sparge vaca.
Okay, vaca. I don't think there's a difference. I don't think there is a difference between the accusative and nominative. Maybe there are in irregular words, but I can say that at least for feminine and masculine nouns, my very small survey here shows me that it doesn't look like there's a difference between the nominative, accusative, and feminine, masculine nouns. Let's see if that's the case in neuter nouns. The cow breaks the building. So before I write the rest of this word, if this rule is hard and fast, if nominative and accusative are the same everywhere, we should see a clădirea. Clădirea. Yes, that is what I expected. See how badly I said it.
Vaca sparge clădirea.
Clădirea.
Vaca sparge clădirea.
Vaca sparge clădirea. Okay. So right now, nominative and accusative share the same endings, plural or singular, right? The cow breaks the buildings should just be the same as the nominative ending, which is clădirile.
Vaca sparge clădirile.
Although we still have this diacritic here, which is different from the which is not. Oh wait. Oh yeah. Clădire.
Vaca sparge clădiri.
Clădiri. Okay, so this is kind of a mystery to me, this diacritic, because I've never seen it in a Romance language before. I've seen it in other languages, like I've seen it before, but I don't know what it means. I don't know what it signifies. But as for pronunciation, there's still no difference between nominative and accusative. There probably is some rule. My guess is there's some rule for why this is here between nominative and accusative sentences, but I haven't figured it out. I don't know. But let's go on to verbs. I'm curious to see how verbs work. My guess is I'm going to pick this up pretty quickly because it's probably really similar to other Romance languages. Probably a similar conjugation system. I am interested to figure out how the past tense works, because that works different in a few different Romance languages. So let's find out. Usually a regular verb in Romance languages is to eat.
A mânca.
A mânca.
A mânca.
Okay, so I wonder if this is just a weird Google Translate mess up, or is it... No. This is probably how infinitives are formulated in Romanian. So let's just make a verb section here. So a mânca is to eat. Let's just make sure That's how infinitives are formed. Yes. Okay. Cool. So that's how infinitives are formed. It's interesting that there's no endings. Like there's no. I'm sorry. There's obviously an ending, but I'm used to in Romance languages. It's obviously different. And there's AR, ER, IR in Spanish, and RE, ER, IR in French. And so on in other Romance languages that I'm familiar with, at least. But that is not the case here. To drive, let's just a conduce, conduce. Probably conduce.
A conduce.
Yes, a conduce. Man, so if there's one area that I'm totally wrong on today, it's emphasis.
A conduce.
Because I don't think I've pronounced the word right today, because I've always put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. There's definitely emphasis rules in Romanian, and I just have not picked them up at all. But that's fine. Obviously, I have not spoken the language before. A conduce. So let's see. I eat.
Eu mănânc.
Eu mănânc. Okay, so eu is obviously very closely related to other Romance languages. It's the exact same in Portuguese, for example. So let's add these conjugations here because I'm curious. I eat is eu mănânc. And let's figure out, I don't think this is, let's figure out if that's irregular by doing I drive. Okay.
Eu conduc.
Eu conduc. Okay, I think this might be irregular verb here because we added this. This got added here. Conduc. Okay. So it looks like we just lost the E at the end. So a rule might be for verbs that end with E, you just drop the E in first person singular present tense conjugation. How about you eat? Mănânci.
Tu mănânci.
Tu mănânci. Okay. Resembles the Italian second person singular conjugation with the I ending. Mănânci. Tu mănânci. Yeah, I don't know why that extra AN came in there. It's interesting. You drive. Tu conduci. Okay, this makes sense. I think to drive is a regular verb at this point. I obviously was not thinking when I wrote I drive. Conduc is how this one was written. Conduc, eu conduc. You drive, conduci. Let's see. He drives. El conduce.
El conduce. El conduce.
El conduce. Oh, el.
El conduce.
El conduce. He drives. Now I'm going to assume she drives is also conduce, but I don't know how to say she. Ea.
Ea conduce.
Ea conduce. Okay. Exactly what we expected. And I'm obviously noticing the similarities here, in common words between the Romance languages. Obviously,
Ea conduce.
ea sounds a lot like ella in Spanish. So these languages are, we could see the relations coming about. Let's see, he eats. We can imagine that this is probably, actually I have no idea. Mănânce? El mănânce? He eats? No.
El mănâncă.
El mănâncă. Okay, so these are definitely two different verb classes, which is great. We have two different verb classes we've discovered so far. El mănâncă. Mănâncă. So this is an nasal vowel, and these are not. Again, I still don't know what that means, that diacritic. She eats should just be ea mănâncă.
Ea mănâncă.
Mănâncă. Okay, so for some reason, with she eats, the feminine third person singular plural, we totally lose those nasal sounds. Very interesting. We eat. Noi
mâncăm.
Noi mâncăm. Okay. So for some reason, we didn't get this extra an. Like it didn't get added on. I imagine this is probably an irregular verb. Yeah, my guess is it's probably irregular. I'm going to try to guess what we drive is. It's probably It looks like am might be the ending. So my guess might be conducam. Noi conducam.
Conducem.
Okay, that actually makes a lot more sense because this is probably the equivalent of an AR verb. This is probably the equivalent of an ER verb. So conducem actually makes a lot more sense. We drive is noi conducem. I don't know if Romanian is a pro-drop language, in that you can drop the personal pronoun when you conjugate verbs because the endings are indicative of the pronoun. I don't know if that is the case. And let's try they drive.
Ei conduc.
No, that's not right.
Ei conduc.
Ie conduc. Ie conduc. So that makes me think that it's not a pro-drop language because these two are the same. They sound the same. So you would need a pronoun to distinguish between who you're talking about. They drive or I drive. You can't just say conduc. But let's try they eat. Mananca.
Ei mananca.
Ye mananca, which is the same as she, which is totally throwing me for a loop. I'm going to really cross my fingers that this is an irregular verb here, because if it's not, then I have no idea how the verbs work, how the endings, because sometimes we got the extra an, sometimes we didn't with amanca. With a conduce, pretty clear rules here. Pretty clear rules. So let's try to figure out if there's an IR verb ending, equivalent, because that's what I'm familiar with. To leave. So probably this is probably a cognate of partir in French.
Părăsi.
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 Părăsi. Well, I don't want to use this because I think it's going to be annoying. It's going to mix up these two verbs for me. So let's get one that definitely is going to work. To quit. Okay. I just want to get one where it's definitely going to...
Citi.
Citi. Citi is to read.
Citit.
I mean, that's reading, so that's the noun. I don't want to deal with this. Citi. Obviously, I should write to read. A citi.
A citit.
A citi. It looks like this is our third class of verbs. I would assume there's only 3 because that's what I'm familiar with in other Romance languages, but there could be more. A citi. So I read. Let's see what it is.
Citesc.
Citesc. Okay, this is probably an irregular verb then, right? Let's figure out what you read is. I citit. What? Citesc. Interesting. I'm going to assume that's irregular. Asari is to jump. I just want to try and find an irregular verb.
Asari.
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 Asari. Okay. So I jump. Sad. Okay, yeah, so here's one consistency, and I'm sorry to read, but I just want a regular verb because I want to learn the rules here. To jump. I'm sorry to, or no, every verb drops that last vowel in the first person singular. So I jump is going to be eu sad. Right? Eu sad. And you jump is probably going to be asadi? I don't know. Tu sadi, yeah.
Tu sari.
Tu sadi. Yeah, that makes sense because it has the I ending. I knew it would have the I ending because that's a consistency. And then he jumps is probably going to be el sare. Yes, el sare.
El sare.
And then she jumps is probably going to be ea sare as well. We jump is probably going to be noi sadim. Sadim with an I probably. Yeah.
Sărim.
Sadim. Again, we have this diacritic that I have not figured out. Cannot figure out. And actually, I'm thinking now that maybe it's pro drop only with noi, like with the ones that are different. But honestly, that's probably not the case either because, yeah, that's probably not the case. They jump. Can assume this might be a... Actually, I have no prediction for what this is going to be. I have no idea. A sad, maybe. A sad, yeah.
Ei sar.
Yay, sad. Okay, so we had that same thing going on. So here in amanca, to eat, the third person plural has the same. I'm sorry. Here, the third person plural has the same ending as the first person singular. Eu conduc, ei conduc, eu sar, ei sad. Cool. So now I think we've got the three classes of verbs. I still think this one is irregular because we have the extra "an", but I don't want to use more time to find another verb of this class because, I don't know, I don't want to conjugate the whole thing again. So I want to figure out some past tense. I'm going to avoid this verb for now. Maybe I'll find one later because I want to figure out the regular past tense, and I feel like this might be an irregular verb. So I'll put a little asterisk here so we remember that. Okay. I drove.
Am condus.
Am condus. So, okay, so here we are dropping the personal pronoun, but I'm sure we could write eu am condus. So condus to me looks like it's the past participle, and this looks like a helping verb. This probably means to have. So this is the same construction that we have in the perfect tense in Spanish, the passé composé in French. I don't know what it's called, but the past tense in Italian, the simple past. Maybe not the simple past, but the composed past in Italian, where we have a helping verb helping us out. So just to make sure that that's what's going on, you drove. Yes, of course, we have condus. Okay, great. So all we need to figure out, this is easy. So the composed, hope I'm using the right term there, composed past in Romanian. Well, obviously it's Romanian. What other language are we studying here? So it uses whatever to have mean. To have. What is to have? A avea.
Avea.
Oh, wait.
Avea.
A avea. A avea.
Avea.
That vowel sound really, I have trouble with that. A avea. Okay, so all we need is I'm just going to look up. Because I just want to Verbix is a great language, a great website to use. Taking me forever to find Romanian. There we go. Avea is already here. Cool. Eu tu ai el. Looks like we have two different versions there, which is interesting. I wonder why they're two different, how they can be used differently. Noi avem. Voi. Oh, I totally assumed there was no you plural or you formal, which is totally silly and a terrible oversight of me. Because obviously, in almost every Romance language that exists. But I'm just going to pretend it doesn't, because that would require me to go back, and I don't have much time left, so I just want to figure out how to compose this past real quick. So now we should be able to say that we drove is noi avem condus.
Am condus.
What? Isn't avem the ending? Oh, but also it's Okay, so it seems like might more normally be used then. So you drove is tu ai conduz. Tu ai conduz. And then let's try jump. So the past, I'm just going to put the past participle here is conduz. I wonder if how past participles are constructed, if it's different. So I wonder if this is saris. No, it's probably not, right? Asarus, maybe? Asaris? Let's find out. I jumped. Sarit. Okay, so there's a different construction here. I jumped is the sarit with a T there. So you jumped should be tu I sarit, right? I sarit, but again.
Ai sărit.
Okay, so the big wild card today is going to be what the heck is this diacritic? Why is it there? When is it there? I ate. Am mancat.
Am mancat.
Am mancat.
Ai mâncat.
I mancat. So in the second person singular, this diacritic comes back for some reason. I don't know why. So there's something going on. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry.
Ai mâncat.
No, that's just the nasal vowel. So that's not true. Okay, so we figured out a lot here. We figured out the cases. Let's try to put like a couple sentences together using the nouns. I haven't even explored the dative case yet. I don't think I have enough brain power to do that at the moment. But that is something you could do in the future. Let's try to put together some sentences using the words we found. So, machina is car. So let's try. I drive the car. I drive the car. My guess for what this is going to be is eu conduc machina. Machina, because I don't think there's any declension for cases in accusative and nominative. So I drive the car. Conduc machina.
Conduc mașina.
But there's no sh. It changes to machina. So maybe what's happening here is it was wrong earlier, and there actually is a change, and it's the change in that vowel sound there. How about I drive cars? Mașini.
Conduc mașini.
Eu conduc.
Eu conduc o mașină.
Yeah, as expected, mașina, spelt like this, is the indefinite article. Oh, mașina. That's the indefinite version. Let's try another one. The building jumps. Clădirea, sare. Makes sense with our conjugations here. Let's try to get some prepositions going on. Pe means on. I mean, at least in this case. Mașina. So the car is spelled with this. So I don't know what case this is. On. And it might just be, could be dative. I don't know, to be honest. But wow, I can tell that I'm babbling and I'm contributing less actual facts here at the moment. So I'm going to call it a day right there. But we found some interesting stuff. I wrote a couple of rules down, pretty incomplete. But it is a lot to tackle, and, it'll be going for 49 minutes right now. So really we haven't done too much. There's so much more I could figure out. It would take a long time. I would need to take a break to breathe and think. But we've definitely discovered a lot here, a lot of really interesting stuff. And I had a fun time doing it. Maybe I'll do this again with another language. But either way, if you somehow miraculously made it to the end, I deeply appreciate that. So thanks very much, and bye.